All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 41. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Welcome back to the game. The one and only daily live trading streams here. Looking forward to talk about our favorite instrument of all time, gold. Let's make it happen, my friends. How are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Let me check here quickly. Are with us in the building today. Let me give it a quick shout out to. There we go. Where's my screen? Where's my screen? Where is my screen? Where's my screen? Ah, there we go. Beautiful fam, welcome back. Good to see you, Diamond, Hussein, Victoria. Welcome back again. Good to see you, Kenny boy, my friend. Yo, bro, thank you for Friday. Amazing. Ahmed, Don, Forex Tradering, nice. Yes, my friends. Who Trades? Hi from Singapore. Nice. I'm going to be there this weekend. Very nice. Pricey, my friend. Good to see you. Yes, looking forward to this week. Love you guys. All right. Not much to say. We have to kick up the week strong here. We have to make sure we work our asses off to have our right foundation set for the Monday. So we are ready to rock and roll throughout the whole week. And Monday is the major day where we set our standard for the week. So let's make sure that everything is done in order, in the right sequence. So we can actually start making some freaking money. Okay? Perfect. Let's make it happen, my friends. Welcome back. While we're doing our introduction, while we are doing our intro right here, gold just pushed up. Like it's life dependent on it. Unbelievable. Look at that push for gold to right when we get started with the stream today. What is going on here? What is happening? Well, we have to go over everything right now and set a clear standard because this is a monster push. We have to wait and see if, what is going on here. Is there some news that we have to think about right here before I do my actual breakdown and analysis? Let me make sure that this is the case. So we have that out of the way. If not, if there's no news here causing this push, yeah, then we have to look at the overall market here and what's currently happening, because this is a huge bump, by the way, guys. Unbelievable. Let me quickly check here what just happened right now. Okay. There we go. That is a big, that's a big juggler right there, my friends. Holy moly. Okay. Anyways, hope you guys are doing well here. Let's make our week strong. Let's do our things correctly here. Let's make sure that you guys are all ready to rock and roll here. Let me just set up a more easy tune. There we go. Okay, now we can talk. Now we can actually talk and do our full analysis right there. Am I bullish or am I bearish? Well, let me show you my opinion and then you can decide for yourself what you think overall. Okay. There is definitely some interesting stuff happening today in regards to the price action. I just want to be clear about this right now at the moment. Okay. We're going to do our full breakdown, by the way, on the higher time frame. We're going to go to gold. We're going to go to the dollar. We're going to go to oil. We're going to mix them all together. We're going to look at the footprint chart. We're going to make sure that you guys are fully updated here. But I just want to say the price action today in general, Asia, London have been pretty wild, okay? The reason why is because a lot of buyers got stuck in their trades right here in the Asian session. Look at that huge green. A lot of green in this candle right here. A lot of green in this candle. But look at how the candle closed. The 4-hour candle closed red. That's interesting. Then look at this one. A lot of red in the candle. But the candle itself closed what? The candle itself closed green. How is that possible? We call that a divergence, okay? A lot of selling in that candle here, causing a large absorption of the buyers, or actually a large absorption of sellers, sorry, right here in this candle right there. Okay, aggressive sellers, people who press market sell, okay, got absorbed by people that pressed limit buy, all right? So you see the market sells, aggressive sells. You see the candle being red from a perspective of there are a lot of selling in that candle. A lot of people press market sell, but the candle itself closed green. That means a lot of sellers are now stuck in their trade. But in the Asian session, it was the opposite. In the Asian session, it was a lot of people pressing market buy, but a lot of absorption took place of these buyers, causing price to still close down and push down further. So we're in between two major zones right now. We're kind of actually balanced from that perspective. A lot of trapped buyers and a lot of trapped sellers. Now we have to make our decision, right? What are we going to do today? Are we going to go short? Are we going to go long? Do we trust this first push to the upside, yes or no? Well, in order to understand this better, we simply have to do one thing, and that is to zoom out, okay, properly, and to start off on the higher time frame, I think, and then just go from there, okay? I think that is by default the most important right here. Now, anyways, let's take this back to Friday, because Friday played out exactly like we said it would play out here, okay? We had our major zone of resistance. Price stepped into that major higher time frame resistance, okay? That was the NFP Friday, so it was very tricky as well. But price shoot up, tapped into that resistance zone, that box that we've marked out, and it sold off aggressively right there. And then we said, if you want to look for a new entry, okay, on top of this entry right there that we already talked about, there were a couple scenarios you could do for. You could look for something like this. So either price pulls back right here, buyers are stuck in their trades, okay, they're going to close the position. Smart money sees that, they're going to end on short, so it creates a lot of selling pressure again, and you look for the continuation down. That didn't happen. We said our alternative was, we take the range, we wait for the break, we wait for the pullback, right, and we look for the sell off from there. That confirmation entry that we talked about right there, right? Did we talk about this right there? If you guys remember this, press in a yes in the chat. I just want to make sure that there were a lot of people from Friday that are still watching today. So they pretty much know that we talked about this exact scenario pretty much, right? That is something that we've marked out right there. Chart. It pretty much looked like this. The consolidation expansion retracement, or the consolidation manipulation, the expansion, right? Something in that manner. So anyways, that is something that we wanted to see here. And if you look at gold right now, and we go back to the candle of Friday, pretty much, you could actually see that this was that box that we talked about right there, right? Then we had the range right here, okay? And then price came back, right? It closed below, it came back down, and then it pulled back and it sold off right there, right? That is the confirmation entry that we talked about right there as well, in case. It was already very late, so do take that in consideration. It was a very late entry. It was roughly speaking in the late or in the afternoon actually in the United States, but most likely in like late evening in Europe, or in the night in Asia, if you're from Asia. right there, okay? But anyways, the overall concept is the same. Buyers got trapped here. A lot of sellers took control here. 36,000 contracts were traded there, and that 1 4-hour candle was super bearish. Price tapped into that. Eventually, all these buyers got absorbed, got trapped from the NFP. Price reversed, came down, took out the NFP lows, and then pulled back into the range, and it sold off, okay? Now, what was the exact level where it sold off from? That was, of course, the range and the value area high. Look at that right there. The fixed value area high right there. And this is exactly what you can learn in our book right here that I created for you for free. No strings attached, okay? It's called something like the CME play, right? The consolidation and the manipulation and the expansion. You can find it right there. Links in the description if you want to download the book right there, or someone in the chat will give you at our hashtag ebook, or sorry, explanation mark ebook. And then you have access to that same concept, so you understand how these patterns occur on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year, consistent basis, okay? Hope that makes sense. So anyways, what happened today? Today we saw the opening gap right here. We saw an opening gap, and then pretty much throughout Asia, a lot of people started to buy the bottom here, and they got all stuck in their buys because price broke down. Then a lot of people started to sell here. We just looked at the order flow, right? We literally just looked at the order flow. A lot of people started to sell here, and now these sellers are stuck in their trade right there, okay? So I hope you can see how in general, we're gonna have two major zones right now, which we're gonna talk about in a second, that will allow us potentially, you know, the direction of where this can take us right now. But I must say, this is a very strong push with a lot of volume, and all the sellers that ended at the bottom here are now stuck in their trades, clearly, okay? So anyways, that was Friday. Let's go back to the higher time frame first, and then actually move a little bit back to what we call the connection between the dollar and between gold. So let's go to the daily time frame right now. Okay, that major zone on gold right now that we talked about right here came from that 12 daily supply zone right there. That was that major rejection. We had that higher time frame, resistance around that area right there. Okay, price couldn't break above that. And we saw that major sell-off happening right there on the 4-hour. You could see how important that top was. Once the top was created, we pulled back into that. And then pretty much price rejected from it aggressively. This is what all happened right there in that daily candle right here, okay? Now, if you go to the 15-minute time frame, okay, we saw that breakdown and that sell-off. But this is still our major area of interest. Now, besides that, another thing that we do with the volume profile as well here is we look at the low volume nodes right there, okay? So we take the swing high to the swing low, right there. We remove our buying zone for a second. And what we're looking for is what we call our gaps, our low volume nodes right here, okay? So inside of this overall swing, you can use it with the fixed volume profile. You can actually see all the volume traded from the swing high to the swing low. And inside you have that massive gap right around there, okay? And that is exactly, if you look here right now, where we tapped into, where we got rejected from. That was the absolute top of the top of the top of this current high, okay? So this is a very important moment right now for gold, because right now you can actually see that at this moment, what did we create? We created some sort of a, you could call this a reversal pattern, okay? A triple top or whatever you want to call it. But another thing that you can do is you can use that same profile and mark it out over that exact range right there, okay? Until we actually broke and closed below it, okay? And what you can see right here is that within this area, right now, we have a couple of gaps too. It's the same exact concept. You use these low volume nodes to actually determine where you will find potential resistance on gold right here, okay? So we have our two zones right there. This is one of them. You see that gap inside of the highlighted zone? You have that gap right there where there are less orders transacted. It could be that there are a lot of limit orders that were activated there, okay? You could actually see this right there. You can also see it right there. So we have our first zone sitting right around 4,710, okay? I just want to mark out that you understand that this is major resistance, guys. Major resistance. Look at that rejection already. If we mark out that low volume node, look at how we have been constantly rejecting there, right? From the upside, as well as the downside, okay? So think about a major push up right now, but also understand that we will find that major resistance sitting right around there, okay? So if we want to potentially say, listen, this might be a push up right now, okay? But at the same time, you can actually see that we are finding that resistance very, very soon here. Is there a chance that we could react from that level, react from that zone, and potentially find some resistance around that area, right around there, okay? Very important to take that in consideration in case we get to the 4,710, okay? Now let's take the same thing on gold spot. Let's do this exact same thing here. You can actually see that gap right there, okay? Right, let me make sure that we have that gap marked out right there. Right there, okay? Right there. Let's mark it out, okay? Look at there. We're very close to that box already, okay? We can actually fine-tune it even a little bit more if you want to make it a bit smaller. You can actually see right there that this is also our major zone around the 4,700. Makes sense? The 4,700 right there, okay? Now, this is perfect. Besides that, we have, of course, the fixed point of control as well, all right? The point of control is the area where the most volume has been traded, right around there, okay? Anything around this layer, guys, is all in the book right here, okay? Make sure you read it so you understand the full context. You need to really read the book if you want to have a full understanding of what we talk about with our notes and also with our key levels right there, okay? All that makes sense. Let me make sure this is just... there we go, it's working, right? Yeah, it's working. Okay, anyways, we're pushing up right now at this current moment here. In order to get a better understanding of gold right now, and this major squeeze that we're seeing here, let's actually look at the dollar, okay? Because the dollar right now is actually showing us a little bit more weakness at this current moment, okay? Let's actually mark out exactly what we have been talking about right there, okay? Let's look at the daily time frame on the dollar, okay? And hope you guys are understanding right now where we are with the dollar right there. Because if the dollar is still at support right here, you know, we really have to make sure that we understand exactly what has happened on the dollar. So let's do the same thing, okay? Higher time frame supply and demand, which we always talk about. Higher time frame supply and demand on the dollar, okay? And then the lower time frame volume profile, okay? So clearly what you can see right now on the higher time frame on the dollar right here, you can see clearly that we are at support, right? We have been holding that same level for, I would say, almost like 2 weeks right now. Pretty much a month, if you ask me, okay? It's that same zone that we can't seem to break for now around the dollar here, okay? We're holding that level. We're not really reacting from it, okay? We're not really breaking out, but we're at support. We're not really moving. We're holding that. We're holding that, but we're not breaking to the upside here, okay? I hope that makes sense. There is still definitely a lot of resistance as well here. But if you take this to the 15-minute, okay, and we mark out the following right here, the LTA concept session breaks, now we can see exactly what happened every day. And then what we can do is we can take the volume profile. Once again, we mark it out over the previous week, okay? And then you see this red line. Let me know in the chat, guys, what this red line is about here so you understand the perspective of why this line will be super important for us to pay attention to, okay? I'm just going to mark it out already. This red line right there. I'm going to extend this line in case we get there later on, okay? This is the dollar, all right? The dollar, and this is the area where the most volume was traded the previous week. All right, so that's at the 97.595 right there, as you guys can see here, the 97.595. This is what we call the previous weekly point of control on the dollar, okay? Well, that makes sense. Right there, this is an area of support, you will see. It has been acting as an area of support right there. Now, let's also mark out the previous daily, okay? Because we lose Friday as a major example because of the fact that Friday was such a big day with a lot of volume traded. In general, on a Friday, there was a lot of volume traded on the dollar, on gold, on oil, you name it. So we need to look at the previous daily as well. And look at that red line, okay? There we go. And guess where we're reacting from? We are reacting from what? The previous daily, okay? Point of control right there, okay? So I hope you guys can understand that this is a major zone for the dollar, all right? If we mark out our zone right now, right here, okay? And we start marking out our levels on the dollar right there, and we're gonna do something like this, okay? Then you can actually see right now that this will become a major area of support for the dollar. Okay, I hope this makes sense so far, guys. Major support for the dollar. Okay, because of the fact that we are operating between the previous daily and the previous weekly point of control. And as long as we're staying above that, it's very hard to think about continuation buys for gold, because the moment the dollar will tap into that zone and it reacts from it, gold will have a really, really hard time bouncing and continue to go higher. That's just a fact, okay? If the dollar would reverse here, it will put a lot of selling pressure on gold. There's no doubt about that right there, okay? So we could say, oh, we're super bullish now for the continuation on gold. We think that gold will continue to go higher and higher and higher and higher. And it might be true, okay? But at the same time, do realize if the dollar finds that support right here that we just talked about right around that level, and we already reacted from it today earlier, and we react from it again, okay? And we're somehow bouncing from here, whatever the case may be, it's gonna put a lot of selling pressure on gold, okay? I think it's very important to put the dollar right here in perspective. The fact that we're operating from higher time frame support, okay, and lower time frame support, okay? We have not broken it yet. We're still above it, okay? So even though we might be bullish on gold here, we're still above it right now at this current moment, okay? So let's take that in consideration here. Now let's also add something else to the equation besides the dollar and besides gold right now. Let's have a look at oil, okay? Because if you look at oil right now, oil is actually holding up relatively well. It's not doing that bad actually, okay? It is rejecting, it is coming down right now at the moment, but the same thing for oil, we're gonna do the exact same thing, okay? Let's mark out the range from the previous week here, okay? We have our Monday, oil came up, okay? Tuesday, oil dropped. Wednesday, oil tanked. That's when gold absolutely exploded last week, remember? Thursday, we set in a double bottom. Friday, we ranged, okay? This is oil in a nutshell for you. Now on a Monday, we gapped to the upside. We kept open to the upside right there, okay? So let's make sure that we'll use that same exact concept right here, where we use the fixed warrant profile from the previous trading week. We do this every Monday, by the way. We really want to make sure that we understand this well, because we don't want to miss out on any potential levels that are potentially important right here. And again, look at that right here on oil, okay? We're above what we call the previous weekly point of control, right around there, okay? Major level. Then we also have a range right here, okay? A regular range where we broke out of today. We kept actually open right there, okay? We have to mark out that range too. We have to look at that range. We have to wait for the breakout. All right, we have to make sure that we have a full understanding of what's going on there on oil too, okay? And you can actually see that we have another level, which is actually not that far away as well, okay? So also the oil will have support just as much as the dollar will have that support very, very soon as well right there, okay? But this is what we call an area of support for oil, all right? Right there, in between the previous weekly point of control and in between the very high, okay? So we have these two zones right there on oil. Oil could easily find that support right there. You could also say pretty much that if you look at oil in the first place right here, and we look at the overall structure of that larger breakout, okay? You can also see that we're already reacting from a major area of support right now in oil as well. So oil is also in support. You can see how strong it is reacting from that area, okay? So if we look here at the dollar right now, the dollar is not weak. It's not strong. It's definitely not strong, okay? But it is closer to support than that it is at resistance, okay? Look at oil. Oil is actually reacting quite well from our zone, but we still have a major zone below that, okay? Now, if you take that information, we go back to gold, we are not that far away from our low volume node right there on gold right there, okay? Just want to be clear on this. There is not that far, we're not that far away now, the 4,710 or something like that here on gold futures. And on gold spot, actually, we are pretty much at that zone around the 4,700 here, okay? So the conclusion is, do take in consideration that we'll find a lot of resistance around this area for gold, in my opinion. And I think that if we can get back there in the zone here, okay? Resistance level for gold, okay? Low volume node, potential selling zone, okay? And we see that rejection here. I think there is a potential scenario that if the dollar finds support, if oil finds support, and it starts slowing down and gold is there, that we could potentially react. We could potentially roll over. And our only objective is to understand here if gold is willing to hold below this level, okay? If gold breaks back above it and it continues to break back higher and we close a strong hourly candle above this, yeah, then I have to say we might indeed go back up to the highs again and we'll retest this major zone here. I think right now, this is the major level for gold that we have to pay attention to, okay? All right, perfect. Hope that makes sense so far, guys. This is our current zone that we really have to pay attention to, the 4700 today, the 4698. In my opinion, that is the most important zone for gold right now at the moment. If gold cannot react, or if gold can squeeze up one more time and see if you could potentially get there, I think it will be an extremely important zone, knowing that the dollar, you know, is close to that support right here. We're still not there yet, by the way, guys. There still is a little bit more room to go for the dollar right now. So we need to make sure that if we take an entry short on gold, especially because the gold has been squeezing up, that the dollar is at least at support. The dollar is at least at that level of interest right there, where we actually bounced from already during the London session right there, okay? So let me know what you guys think here overall. This is my current stance on Goldie Gold. Let's see if we can get up there one more time here. I'm going to use futures chart for my analysis as well for my trading. So I need to use this area, okay? But I hope you guys have the perspective on, on gold spot too. So we can actually see what's going on from there, okay? But in my opinion, this is for me that major zone on gold right there. I'm going to just mark it out one more time. So we have an actual area that you could use here. Let me just write it down one more time here. Low volume node gold, major resistance, aligned with the dollar, aligned with oil, potential selling zone right there. Okay. There we go. Let's see if we can get there. All right. Let's see if price is able to tap into this, and if you find and really struggle from this exact area right there. Okay, brother, why not using the ATR anymore? I never really used the ATR in general, not like that in my exact trading strategy, so I'm not really sure what you mean here. All right, let me know, geez. Let's be patient in my opinion. Let's see what price does. This was a major squeeze for gold to the upside right now. Okay, major squeeze to the upside. If you look at it at 4-hour zone, there is still a long way before this 4-hour candle actually closes here. So we can't really confirm right now that this area for on the 4-hour time frame is gonna hold or not. We really have to wait for this closure, but it's gonna be in like a couple hours. So there's not much that we can do with it right now at the moment. Okay, on the 1-hour time frame though, we are definitely looking to fill a little bit of resistance right there. You could see that all these rejections right there during the open, okay, today's open, were all right around this area. Okay, I just want to make sure that you are fully aware of that, because this is a major zone in my opinion right now to really pay attention to in case we get there, because we got there rejected so many times over. In my opinion, it could be another massive squeeze, massive manipulative move pre-New York for a potential reversal again, knowing the dollar being kind of at that support right now and looking at oil actually holding up much better. Okay, because in reality, the dollar came down a little bit, gold shoot up. If the dollar now holds that support and it's not going to continue to drop and it finds support again soon, like how far do we think that gold can actually go, right? We have to put it in perspective. So, because of that reason here, I'm very curious to see what will happen right around this area right now and to see if we can actually get to that zone, okay? And let's see what we can do there, okay? We have some news in 1 hour, I know that. We have some news, we have the existing home sales here. I don't think it will be that much of an importance, to be honest with you. But tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we have something else. Tomorrow we have what we call the CPI, all right? The Consumer Price Index, tomorrow. So tomorrow we're gonna have a CPI stream. That's gonna be interesting, as always. You guys already know that. You guys already know that. All right. You guys want to hear something new besides this? Let me show you. I'm going to just show you, okay? I'm just going to show you exactly what we're seeing here. There we go. All right. Yes. RM. Of course. Of course. Gold shoot up beforehand. Major push for gold before this news came out. Okay, major push for gold here before this actual news came out. So hey, what's going on here, guys? Iran, we deployed deep roaming submarines in the Strait of Hormuz. De-escalation or escalation? You ask me. You tell me. You tell me. Okay? Wow. Look at that. Look at that. You know what that means? Yes, sir. If this is an escalation again and the United States have to come back in, then gold is definitely going to come down. And oil is definitely going to spike. And the dollar is definitely going to go up again. Right? This is what we have been seeing all the time when this news came out here. So yeah. Can we get to our major zone of interest right now? That's the real question that we're trying to answer today. Can we get to our zone? Specifically the 4,710. That's really something that we want to know today. Can we get there? Yeah. Every war or every escalation signal around the war is usually bad for gold and good for oil. So yeah. Tala says, bro, open a volume profile from the start of Friday until now and see how we are in a very strong low volume node. Let's do it. Let's open this one. Let's look at it right there. And yes, it's true. It's exactly this zone. It's exactly that zone. Yes, actually, you're correct. You are correct. This is where we got rejected from. Yeah, you're right. You are correct. You are correct. We'll have some major resistance here. All right. This is what we're seeing now on gold here. I just want to see if gold can squeeze up one more time. If it's possible for gold to squeeze up here. If not, and then this might be this might be the potential top right now. Let's look at the order flow as well here. It seems to me that the order flow is telling us still that we're not there yet, though. Right? We have to be honest here. It seems that the order flow is telling us we are not fully there yet. Okay, we're still waiting for that reaction. Let me mark out the dollar one more time here. Let me make sure that we have our level set perfectly. This is one of them. All right. There we go. So we have our levels actually marked out on the right side of my screen. There we go. Okay. Anyways, Friday, we talked about shorting, bearish bias. Today, the question is, are we going to follow through here? But as long as the dollar is showing what the dollar is currently showing, yeah, we have to kind of bet on sells because we just have that major resistance here. There we go. Oh, major support, sorry, that's what I wanted to say. Support for dollar. All right. There we go. Let's see now. Gold is not ready yet. Look at the order flow exactly. You can see that gold is still getting absorbed. You know, sellers are trying to enter the market, but it's not there yet. We see some buyers at the top though. They're also in some troubles, but it's nothing clear indicates something now on gold that we're gonna just roll over right now. We're still seeing mixed. We're still getting mixed signals right here. Okay. X limiters, you're not using it anymore. The valuation we use all the time. Of course, we have it right here. Okay. And look at where we are. We are overvalued against the dollar. So of course, this is perfectly aligned with our strategy, right? The last time we were overvalued was around there. And we sold off 2. Okay. The time before that was there. We sold off 2. Right there. We sold off 2. Right there. We sold off 2. So at some point, we're going to sell off here. Let that be in our zone, though. You know what I mean? Let that be in our area of resistance. All right, let's see if that could be the case. But yeah, we are definitely in an overvaluation right now. It looks like a crazy push for gold. But it's a very interesting one. I gotta admit this, because we just saw this news coming out right now as well. And it's not necessarily good news, if you ask me. Not necessarily good news. All right. Can gold tap into this? And what will happen there? The dollar needs to push down a little bit more. It's getting rejected at the moment. Oil is pushing already. Oil is actually holding up much stronger. But as long as the dollar is really weak, the only way I would execute is by waiting for the dollar to either pull back into this support. But yeah, we can already see the first step right now in our zone. So let's pay attention to how price reacts here. Let's go to the lower time frame. And let's see. That's our box. Dollar has to come down a little bit more. Market gap, yeah, we're talking about the gap here. I agree. But the thing about the gap is that not all gaps get filled fully. Okay, usually price could easily tap into a gap and then go later on. If it does get filled fully, then our next level is actually sitting much higher at the 20s, 25s, I would say. Like, there's no way I want to buy here now. That's the whole point of the session right here. Like, this is what happened in New York. New York opened. It caused price to push up. Dollar will reach major support very soon here. So it's just about timing a potential pullback. That's it. For my side, it's just about timing a pullback and hopefully getting some reaction out of any of these higher time frame zones. While they're often inversely correlated, both can rise together, but that's not happening right now. They're definitely correlated, negative correlated right now. Not in terms of equalness, in terms of strength, but they're definitely correlated, negatively correlated at the moment. Yeah, we're trying to hold into that zone here. I'm very curious to see how price reacts in our zone. For now, the dollar is way too slow for us, for it being the top here on gold. We'll definitely struggle here. Also, this could be an insane move as well. If this breaks down on the 1 minute time frame and this pulls back, this is also a major entry for a continuation down again. At least we're in it right now already. But the dollar is still weak. You see that the dollar is still not at our area of interest. My opinion, that needs to happen. Dollar flip bearish. So I'm still waiting. Yeah, I'm definitely still waiting here. We have the hourly closure now. The 15 to the 30, we have another major zone, which is right above there. As of now, you can see that the dollar is dropping. Gold wants to break the zone, but we have a zone right above this zone. So I'm going to be very careful with entering right now because the dollar is not there. At the moment the dollar is there, though, we'll see what gold does. And then I'll probably try to execute. Navi says, I'm new here, reading your book since the past 2 days. Amazing stuff. Thank you for such valuable content. Curious, is the currently CERC happening? This is what we're looking at, indeed. The consolidation expansion retracement. Now we're heading into our some areas of resistance, exactly. But at the moment, gold looks still pretty strong. And the dollar is not there yet. The dollar needs to be there. So it's all about timing the entries now. Is it here? Is it a bit higher? Is it right in between this area? There's still one more zone here. Okay. Yeah, we're now in that major area. All right. Still some absorption on the 15. The 5-minute needs to show me at least some weakness. And then we'll make a decision right now. The dollar is still not there. It needs to be there. What a move, by the way, for gold. What a move. Absolute crazy move. All right, seems to be breaking it right now. Dollar is still not there. Come on, dollar, man. Get to that zone. What a move for gold. Thing is, in the 4 hour, there was so much selling right here at the bottom. But at the same time, all these buyers too. So even if we pull back right now, eventually, right? This is the latest we can go to. The 80s. It's the maximum we can target in case we pull back. Because it could easily create just a higher low here. Right? Something like back to the 80s. In case we drop at some point, we need to make a pullback. If we make the pullback, the 80s is where it's at for the follow through. It's set actually in the double bottom here. And that aligns perfectly with this zone right there. So the only thing that we're kind of trying here is to just get into a pullback trade. But the dollar needs to tap into our zone first. Has to. Huge move, by the way. What a move. The whole gap is going to be skated over. Let's see what happens, man. The dollar needs to show us something. We're very close to it. So let's see what happens around this area. Let's really try to time it right now with the dollar. Same thing for oil. This is a major move, by the way, guys. Unbelievable move in the last 30 minutes. Like, this is like a 500... What is this? Like 500 pip move in like 40 minutes, 45 minutes? Crazy. All right, dollar, show me what you got. The most important thing that we know is that the dollar there, before that we can't really enter any reaction on gold. We cannot really enter any trade. Because the dollar just needs to show us a reaction here. And this is why we kind of can use gold to time our entry with the dollar. Okay? Yeah, it's very important is in a major expansion like this that we don't enter early, that we really be patient, because it could easily squeeze through any level. But now the dollar is there, so now it becomes very interesting here. Okay, now it becomes very, very interesting here. So now the dollar is in that zone. Oil is still holding up. Well, it will soon probably reach our next level on oil. Let me see where the dollar is. Dollar is there. Okay, the dollar is there. Oil is still in that major support as well here. It's at least trying to hold on to. We might have that support right now. Dollar is in our box. Okay. Dollar has arrived. So now it's time to see where gold is at. Okay. This zone seems to be squeezed for now. No early entries today. We have to be patient. The dollar is finally there. So now it's time to look at gold to see what we do. But that's a killer move. This absolute killer move on gold right there. Okay? Killer move from gold. We're back at the point of control. Already. Who expected that one? That quick. Okay. I think it's aggressive. It is super aggressive. It is super aggressive here. A lot of buyers are starting to step in. Look at that. Our first major bubble. Sellers are coming in. I'm very tempted now to see what we can do. We're overvalued in a major expansion. I am tempted to get in a second and give it a shot. We have arrived. We're almost there pretty much. Look at that. Yeah, I think I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to give it a try. Just gonna get this shit ready. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm not joking, guys. I really want to see what happens here. We're in that zone right now, major area. We have expanded so aggressively. We're overvalued right now. The dollar is now at our zone. This is the moment for me to give it a shot at least and see where it goes. Gonna give it a try. See what happens. Give me the probability, at least a little bit in my favor here, a little bit of a pullback. Don't keep going here. Let's see if the point of control is strong enough to hold. Specifically on the 30 minute. We have arrived. We have arrived. We are now in our box. Right there. Stop loss will be above. It will be at 38, I think. 30, yeah, for 40, 38 or 40. Somewhere around this level here. 38 or 40. Honestly, this is one of the craziest candles I've seen in a long time. I'm not joking. 38. If the dollar just randomly breaks through this zone, there is something else happening here. But I'm going to set my stop loss right now at the 38.39. And if not, I have to try again there with another confirmation. I'm gonna give it 2 tries today. Don't tell me to get out right now. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, we arrived. We're gonna find resistance here. We have to. Don't tell me to get out. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Okay. Don't do it, Giz. Lorenzo is going to get cooked. Hey, bro. Give me some positive feedback. You know what I mean? Some positivity, you know what I mean? Come on. We got it. It's gonna work, guys. It's gonna work. It's gonna do it today. Okay? It's gonna do it today. It's gonna pull back to the 82s, yes? Nah, pretty much everything is aligned. Previous weekly point of control on dollar. Overvaluation. Point of control. It's worth a try. Especially after such an aggressive squeeze in our next zone. All right, it's a 4-hour zone, by the way. Hope you understand this. It's a 4-hour area of resistance. It's an imbalance around the 4-hour. So yeah, we're gonna find resistance here for sure. We will have to put our stops on break even already at. If we can get back down, I have to put my stops on break even at the 47.10, 47.05. But if we get back down, obviously. Come on, dollar. Come on, baby. John says, I'm just trying to wait for 5-minute close bears, but I totally see you're at the right levels. It's just a crazy world right now. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. We close this candle in like 1 minute. If we close this bullish, it's not a good sign, to be honest. We really want to see a 5-minute flip happening or anything like that. I agree. But as long as we hold that 4-hour zone, I'm good. The 30.39 is a good stop loss in my opinion. And if it can get higher, yeah, then I have to kind of reevaluate and maybe look for another reaction with another confirmation. Like I said, I'm going to give it 2 tries today. So let's see what I end up with by the end of the day. What a freaking move, man. Wow. Never seen anything like this in a long time, actually. Especially in a New York session. And also from like a news perspective, if you look here at the actual news that we just talked about, that's not necessarily good. supposedly good for oil. That should be good for oil. But yeah, let's see. Now we're holding around the point of control right now. With the dollar. Dollar doesn't show any signs yet of strength, to be honest. That's also not really nice, not really good. We absolutely crushed our analysis actually on a Friday. Friday was perfect. We had to follow to, even we had the confirmation entry as well after. And then even this one was actually very nice. But man, what just happened today in New York is insane. John says, can't explain it. Iran also rejected Trump's peace plan. So oil should be going up and driving gold down. I can't explain the move. You know, sometimes things happen. You know, sometimes things happen outside of anything. News, indications, whatever. Just take it. Just take the hit. Take the freaking hit. But I don't think I've ever seen this move in New York session, honestly. Like I really think, I'm like thinking, what was the last time when I saw the move like this? I can't remember. Yeah, this is just gonna squeeze it, fam. Not gonna lie, this is just gonna squeeze it. To be honest, can't make anything out of this. What a start of the week, wow. It's been a long time. If I get hit here, right, then I'm really have to look at our next zone really well, specifically hourly candle closure, because with this move on gold, it literally just absorbed one of the most important zones. So that means that if this gets broken, right, if this gets taken out, we don't know for sure yet, but if this gets taken out, then the next zone is the 50s again. And that's the area where we had that major sell-off, that major resistance. Like that's the strongest zone that we marked out on a Friday that got rejected. That means we will be getting back to that zone again. That Friday zone. That would be insane. That would be crazy. Do you ever think the order flow stuff makes people trading worse? No, I'm not. 100% not. No way. I don't know why I would say even like something like that. If you base it off of a single trade, then yeah, you can say whatever. But that's like, I'm not sure if you have seen what we've done, but like, no, that's definitely not true. All right, we're very close to that zone. Not much I can say. The first try was a fail. So I'm going to give it one more shot after this. But with another potential confirmation, I'm going to calculate by the end of the day what I end up with. There we go. That's 500 down. So I'm going to reevaluate this session here. Let's see if we're going to get to our next zone. Next major resistance, I can make it up for you guys. But I never expected to get there this session, to be honest. Already at the beginning of the session. No way I expected that to happen this session already. But that's going to be the 50s. It's going to be the 50s again. That same zone from Friday. Can't believe it. Wow. Never tried to short a pump. Again, you should have seen what we've done in the past. Also with that. Next zone is the 50s, friends. If you can get there, that is absolutely crazy. What about CUT by Larry Williams? Shorts have been added. Shorts have been added. Longs are stable, or nothing is changing on longs. Yeah. All right, the dollar is reacting, of course, right now. There's no way that this is going to be the top. We have to go to the 50s now, right here. We have to go to this zone. That same zone where we got rejected from previous time. Can't believe it. Let me mark out the final zone. This is the last zone. This is the final zone of the session, I guess. So anything above that is just then it's freaking bullish, right? Any pullback already is bullish. If you mark out the hourly right now, we go back to the overall swing. Even if you just mark out the daily right now, let's mark out the daily session. Okay. We'll find support at the 7, exactly what we talked about. The 7 right here. We'll have support here already. That's exactly the same thing as the very high. So that's going to be a level. Super important zone of interest already. Right there. If it takes out those highs and it pulls back, man, that's super bullish. But yeah, we're still not there. We still have major resistance to talk about. So gonna give it one more shot. I'm down 500. I have another 500 budget, you could say. So we need to have a positive risk to reward here to make this work. With a lot more potential though, to be honest. Don't get me wrong. If this one plays out, it has a lot more potential. Dollar is still holding that zone. Okay, dollar is still there. Now gold is slowing down. Oil is breaking, so we still need to wait for oil to push to that next level. Wow, what a move. I would be pissed if this would break down right now. That's for sure. So I need to keep a very close eye on it. I cannot... No, we're definitely... That major zone is right there. One thing is for certain, we are definitely flipping structure right now. Okay, I just want to make sure that we are aware of this. This will be still a counter move because we have support here. We have support right there right now. We have some major levels of interest right now already created in the reversal here. So either two things. Either we try to short it into the major zone of resistance where we got rejected from beforehand. This was Friday's rejection. Look at that major resistance right there. It's confirmed resistance. And then look for the pullback towards the very high. Exit at the very high. Exit here. And then look for longs, which is like pretty much something like this. Something like this. Worst case scenario is something like this. But this is a major absorption. Major absorption. Aligns with the very high. We have to pull back soon. We're slowing down already. Yeah, I think I will give that one more try, to be honest. But we have to tap in our box. We have to tap in our zone first. Crazy move today. Wow. Electrical says next supply zone is between 4740 and 4750. Yeah, this is where we're looking at pretty much. We're taking it from a different area though. We're looking from here. What I'm trying to look for is a pullback into these zones. Targeting the 4710, which is the very high of the range. But it seems to me that this is such a large absorption of sellers here that this could easily create a double bottom and do something like this. It could easily just do something like that. We have seen it so many times where you see that large selling. We break above these buyers. And then these buyers stay in control here. So this is kind of the thought process right now, okay? We tried to short the pullback. I filled number one. Okay, it kept going and going with all the other signals aligning, dollar, etc. It still kept going higher. This was that major resistance from Friday. Okay, we got rejected there. Many of you guys took a short from this level as well because we marked out that zone. That played out very well. If you held on to the trade, congratulations. It was a very nice setup. It started in this range, okay? At this moment right now, if you look at the order flow here, this is where we opened up today. All right, this is a lot of selling here, a lot of buying. Okay, so people started to accumulate gold. They were first in drawdown. It looked very bearish. That invited a lot of sellers here at the bottom. That invited a lot of sellers here. And the reason why I say it's a lot of sellers here is because you can look at it right there. Okay. So I'm going to show you one more time on the order flow and then you understand my thought process and why I think now we could see a shift. A potential bullish shift here. Okay? Even though I'm still looking to short it again. But what you can see right here is that buyers stepped in here. They filled. Okay? They were in drawdown. Then a lot of sellers started to get in and we reversed up. Now we had a major squeeze. Okay? To the upside right here. This is probably like a... pretty much from the bottom, it's a 700 pip move to the upside in like an hour. All these sellers are stuck in their trade right now, right here. Okay, so we have to mark out a zone right there. Okay, we mark out a big red fat box. Right there, okay? That's our major zone. There we go. That becomes support. Now at this moment though, we have all these buyers that want to remain in control. Okay, so what happened was price shoot up. Buyers are now in control. They're now in profit. So when price pulls back to these buyers, all right, we might find support again earlier. So we have two levels of support. One from those buyers that stepped in and one from those sellers that are stuck in the trade that are going to close their trade if price pulls back. So we have these two zones. Okay, right there. This is called a shift of structure from an order flow standpoint, okay? It's pretty much called a shift of structure because right now you see that buyers accumulate and sellers massively got trapped and stuck in their trades. So right now we're above these buyers, so we're now finding support at these buyers. But keep in mind that on the higher time frame, we are still in that major resistance right there, which we will tap in very, very soon, right? So if price steps into that zone, let's say, there are two things we can do right now in this session. We can either try to short the top or try to short the top and then trade it back towards where buy started to accumulate orders today, which is the 47,105. Okay, and then exit here and then go long. We can also say, you know what, it's too risky to short it. I'm gonna observe and wait for price to get back down there or get back down there at any one of these two zones. And I'm gonna look for a long or a potential breakout. These are the only two scenarios right now after this squeeze. All right. So after the first trade, that's the only thing that I could think about for this session that would make somewhat sense right now. Either be shorted from that resistance again, which was major resistance. We know how important that zone is. Or we say, you know what? It's a bit too risky right now. This is a very unusual move for gold. Doesn't happen that often that gold shoots up like that out of nowhere in a New York session with that much volume and that much aggression. So maybe it's better to stay out. That's kind of the wise decision if you could choose it. Another layer is, listen, if you get rejected there and we go to the lower time frame and we see that sellers are stepping in and it's actually still that same level of resistance, at some point we have to pull back. At some point we have to pull back, looking at all the data pretty much, right? So that's something that I have to think about right now. What do I want to do? Do I want to enter now aggressively short again, risk my second $500 to potentially get involved, right? Or do I wait for the pullback first? But there's one thing for certain. This shift is a very indirect indication that we might flip bullish here. Yeah. Let me know what the chat is saying. What is the chat saying right here? Let me see what the chat's up to right now. Yeah. In terms of this overall move that we see, this doesn't happen a lot. So, you know, it's not really something that's like very, very common. It happens sometimes. Yes, it does. Let's see what the chat is saying right there. Okay. Pokemon, I just bought it at 4675, exited early. What a pain to see the shit going on. Wow. Damn, my G. At highs, we'll be entering contrarian short. Yeah, this, to be honest, this is what I'm thinking about too. Okay. This is what I'm thinking about too. Yeah, it has to be in that same zone. Yeah. Yeah, this is the only thing I could think about too. I agree with you. And then I would be targeting the 4706 or 47010, something like this. So this is where these buyers came in, right? So buyers set in the trap, sellers stepped in. Now we have a clear invalidation. There's no way around it. This could be the higher low, like that. Wow. Let's see what's happening on the lower time frame though. Look at all those sellers stepping in here. It's unbelievable, but it's happening. Okay. Yeah, I'm very tempted to set in another trade, guys. Not to be real honest with you guys. Same zone. Yeah. That's Friday. What can I say? What can I say? The divergence is getting there now. A lot of selling, prices pushing up here. Look at that. If the volume starts slowing down right now and we're heading that major resistance again, it's gonna reject again. What a push. All right, let's see what happens. Wow. Well, at least we have some action. We were complaining about not having price action. That's what we were complaining about before in the chat. Oh, good. New York session is so boring. Ugh, it's such a boring session. Well, now you have it, my friends. I hope you're enjoying the party. Wow. I hope you're enjoying the party. All right? Yeah. Okay, we're slowing down. We are slowing down now. I'm from India. I don't know how to do trading. Okay, well then stay out of the market today. Okay, my friends, stay out of the market today. Today is a crazy day. Okay, so be a bit more careful. All right, Praveen? Just observe, all right, my friend? Watch and enjoy the party, okay? Perfect. Praveen, my man. He says, I don't know how to trade. Well, what a day, what a day. Okay. Let's see what gold is doing here. Yeah, the dollar is just hovering around that zone. Unbelievable. And gold is right now back at our area. I can't believe it. There we go, we're there. All right, we need to show us a little bit of a rejection here right now, guys. That's it, but we need to see somewhat of a rejection right now. We need to slow down a little bit. But that's the only shot that I could think about in this session. There is nothing else here. Buying is definitely a no-go. There's no chance. We are back at that major resistance right now. The pullback buying, the buy limit is a potential scenario, but it's probably not going to fill this session. It's the 4707, the 4708. That could be a buy limit now that we're shifting structure with all these buyers here controlling price now. It's unbelievable, but we're there. So the only thing that I could think about is any form of rejection right now in the lower time frame. But we need to close below any form of resistance because there's no way we can enter now. Yeah, that's the only shot I can think about. And then, yeah, obviously the same amount of contracts, right? So that means if we get a decent pullback already, we'll break even. If we can get back to our target, we will have probably 2.5 times the reward, let's say. Yeah, let's see. Robin says, I'm tempted to wait for the 4800 for that retracement. You can see how it's reacting right now from our zone, right? It's already reacting from it this time. Actually, even better than the other. No, actually, the previous one was also pretty decent as well, but wow. The good part is, though, that we always make sure that our risk is always within like reasonable terms, right? So that's the good part. Okay. Give me one closure below sellers. Give me that one closure. Look at the delta. Look at how negative the delta is getting. Look at how bullish price is right now and how bearish the delta is right here. It's unbelievably. The difference is ridiculous, by the way. I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. Okay? Haven't seen anything like this in a very long time here. Wow. Yeah. Can you explain the delta? Of course, my friend. So delta means, okay, the net difference between the buyers and sellers. So people will press market buy and market sell. The net difference, okay? So it's market buyers minus the market sellers. So for example, right? In this case, price is creating higher highs. Every candle is creating a higher high right now. Every single candle. But on the delta, it shows every candle is creating lower lows. So that means that there are more sellers in every candle than buyers. Now everyone is trying to short the top. And we were one of those, by the way. Right? And everyone is trying to short the top right now. And price is continuously pushing higher and higher and higher and higher. So the only confirmation that you need to wait for now is an is an actual breakdown, an actual closure below one of those sellers. Or you need to see a lot of buyers stepping in now and not being able to follow through. Okay? Otherwise, we cannot enter really much because it's just so tricky. So much absorption. Did you remove your orders limit sell on 4750? I never placed an order limit. No way I'm going to do this now. After seeing how price develops here. Okay. I could easily walk away with a small loss today and say, okay, I took a small loss in a major move. It could have been, 20 times worse. But I'm still here because if we do see a retracement, it's going to be a big one. You can just see it on the delta actually. So yeah. Because the moment that absorption is done and like it's just gonna be a massive pullback, and that could be the higher low that we talked about. Back to the 47010, which is the very high of this range. Okay, and this is exactly where the buyers took control, you would say. Right. All these sellers got stuck here. They're all fucked right now. I'm not even talking about all the sellers here in this swing. I'm talking about all the sellers at the bottom of the range. These sellers right now are absolutely, yeah. What's a nice word for it? They're fucked, okay? They're absolutely fucked. Yeah. And I'm talking about these guys right here, okay? All that red right there. Terrible. Cooked is the best. Sorry, I should have said cooked. My bad. Cooked, toast, you're right. That's the right word for it. Yeah. But yeah, that's the reality. That is the reality. It's so you have to understand this, right? And we talked about this also here. It happened exactly on a Friday, okay? And this is why this trade played out after that. So we did our analysis last Friday, right? And we said, if you didn't took a short right there in our zone at the time, right? And I think I marked it out actually. Let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, so we had our zone right there, okay? Now, what happened there was all these buyers that stepped in at the top, because there was a lot of buying that stepped in, but they couldn't push price higher, right? Remember? They were unable to push price higher. So when price broke down and price pulled back, what usually happens is that if you get an insane amount of people trapped in one position, so for example, in this case right now, today, it is the sellers, right? Okay, the sellers got massively trapped at the bottom. Now, if price does make a pullback, what's going to happen is the sellers are like, wow, I'm going to cut my short right now. I'm going to cut my short because I'm in major drawdown and this is the pullback and I think it's going to hold support and move higher. So I'm going to close my short position. Well, if they close their short position, then they have to enter somehow a buy. Because that's how the market works on futures, right? If you enter a sell and you want to exit, you need to buy back your sell. So someone has to buy it from you. So that causes buying pressure. It causes long pressure. It causes support. So if a lot of sellers are trapped here, which they are, and they close their shorts because they're underwater and they close shorts on the pullback, it creates buying pressure. Smart money, they see that. They see that buyers to control right here because this is where all these buyers stepped in. These buyers are now all in profit during the ASIN session. All the sellers that got stuck in their trade right now are all in drawdown or stuck or liquidated, causing the squeeze to the upside. If price pulls back, smart money sees that. What are they going to do? They're going to enter buy limits, buy stops right there. So it creates a double catalyst. It's going to create extra support and it causes the reversal. Now, this is why, according to the data that we're seeing right now, right here, the chances of this being a higher low soon, if we pull back, is significantly higher than it just being another dump from here, okay? Because you don't see this happen all the time, by the way, this data. But the only question right now is, do I want to short towards that zone? Or do I just want to wait for a price to push back for a long setup, for a higher low, for a buy trade, pretty much. Okay? It's the only question we have to ask ourselves, pretty much. Now, as of now, seeing this candle, yeah, I'm willing to look for the pullback. I'm really willing to look for the pullback. I think there is still a chance that we might pull back here a little bit. But again, it's a riskier move. And this is all around risk management. You know, we have to, and there we go. Look at this first reaction right now. We have to really pay attention to anything that's happening here on the lower time frame. We are back in our zone. We know how important this resistance is. It's real resistance. But kind of have to make the decision. Do I want to pull the trigger? It's back in our zone. That's the crazy part. It's back there. Man. All right. If this is if this closes, I will place a limit order. One more. At the 52. The 52.5, sorry. I can see it on the 5 minute. All right. Think we have our closure, right? Yeah. Okay. And then, how many points is this? Yeah, it makes sense. It's the same risk. It's the same risk. Yeah, the 60, 68. Yeah, it's the same risk. And then this would be the target, the 4706, so 4707. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we have news as well right now, so we do take that in consideration. I still want to see a top wick getting created or something like that. I still want to at least pull back into that limit order. Leandro, my man, welcome to the streams. What a session. What a session. Speak German? I can't speak German. I cannot speak German. Bro, why 477TP? No, not 477, 4707. Okay? 4707. We talked about why. It's this major area where buys to control pretty much during the Asian session. There is a big chance that if we pull back, we'll pull back towards any of these levels and we're going to try to break the highs and reverse here. Okay? So this is the question. Do we want to now enter an aggressive short to predict the top to get there? Or do we want to wait for price to get there? Which is this one. And then enter the trade on the pullback, right? Something like this, for example. Or wait for the second batch, which was at what? 4683. And then look for the trade setup, right? So these two long setups are very good trades in my opinion. But in order to get there, we need to pull back. Okay? We are major resistance. We talked about this before. Is it worth trying to trade towards this? I'm going to give it one more try. And if I fail, then this is the end of it. But if we at some point pull back, which I'm sure we will, we have to, then these are my two areas of interest for longs. Okay? So I would place, let's say, a buy limit at 4707 and a buy limit at 4683. Pretty much. Right? And these are now the aggressive sells for this exact session. We are in our area. Yeah, pretty much like that. Barlow Lin, my friend, welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. If you guys could, if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, even though you know what just happened, then smash up that like button here. I hope you guys are still learning something. I'm sure you guys are, because we're doing a lot of amazing things on this channel. And there's a lot of free education and content that I created for you. including the war map, the book that I've written, which you can download for free, of course, right? It has all the explanation around the volume profile and everything that you need to know for this. And then we actually trade live, right? With some order flow features as well here. But yeah, this was a wild one, not gonna lie. This session today is a wild one. I'm gonna give it one more try though. One more try. Yeah. One more shot. Okay, there we go. Last chance. Why this level? It's where buyers and sellers to control here. So now we want to see this level hold. But it's a risky one. So do take that in consideration. Okay? Stops are above our major resistance from Friday. That major zone that we talked about at the 477. Okay, the 4770. Yeah. If we sweep the previous daily highs first, okay, but then we need to immediately reverse. We can already see that we're kind of taking back that control here, so we'll see. But this is the last chance to say. Honestly, otherwise I have to observe and I have to wait for the pullback. And then these are my buy entries. I'm gonna set my buy limits right there at 4707 and 4683. And yeah. Anticipate the reversal. I guess they know something, because this is very unusual. This much volume. Watch this major thing coming down like a bomb in a second. Unbelievable. Stasis, I wish you give us a 24/7 live session. Wow, I've done this before, one time. But the problem is there's not that much price action throughout the whole day. So you're gonna have gaps where nothing is happening for hours and hours and hours. So unless we watch some YouTube videos, I don't know how to fill up that momentum. Now you have action. Now you have some action here. Okay? But keep in mind, this is what I do here. It's calculated risk. All right? Just keep in mind, I'm never gonna over risk. I'm never gonna risk more than I'm able to lose in all circumstances. And I'm not entering because I don't believe in something, obviously. Because I know how important this resistance is. On Friday, it was a major zone. Okay, now show me at least that follow through here back to the... At least to the point of control, but preferably to the actual 07-ish. Right, but I understand that we might face some trouble already here. But yeah. Yeah, this has to be the go move. That 5-minute zone held. That 5-minute zone we held. So our limit order for now was okay. But let's see if I'm actually gonna be fine. Okay. I could play it extremely safe right now. And I literally put my stops and break even here. And just hope for the best that it just tanks. But you know what I mean? Like. But that zone was a good entry. The limit order was good. The limit order was good. At least that's what it seems like. At 52.5. Wow. Even if we get back to the point of control, I'm in profit, by the way, for today. That would be ridiculous. I will be in profit. I would end today green. All right, let this just absolutely tank right now. We lost 500, we're down 500, okay? Just so you know, we're down 500. Give me 1 second. All right, baby, give me the pushback right now. Point of control, come on. Give it to me. Give it to me. We talked about this zone. It didn't disappoint once again. It did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. I think it was wise to try. It was wise to give it a try. Okay, it was wise to give this a shot, one more try. But I'm very tempted now to put my stops on break even, to be honest. Already, and not be crazy, man. And let it like continue down. Yeah, exactly. Let it drop at least to that level here. So we're down 500, right? Wow. Yeah, I think break even here is smart. Not, to be honest, I think it's a smart move. Like, it was worth a shot. Now we're break even. Now it has to follow through. If it follows through, we're end today in green. If it breaks, it puts me on a break even. Then okay, that's one trade, 500. It's doable. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Nothing I could do. But it has to go though. You know what I mean? It has to drop. It has to. All right, we close this 5-minute candle here. That's good. That's good. It's pretty bad bearish closure. Yeah. I just want to see that one squeeze back down to at least the point of control. There we go, plus 450. We're pretty much back at break even if we would close here. But that doesn't mean anything because I haven't closed yet. What's my TP? I'm looking at the point of control at 24, and that has to do with my management. But honestly, the 010, the 4710, right, is that area where buyers stepped in here. It could easily pull back to retest this zone right there and take out the previous hourly low, right? Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, it's at the same resistance as Friday, guys. Same level, same zone as Friday. Wow, look at that. Let's go. Come on. Give us that squeeze, though. What comes up must come down. Look at the undervaluation here. We're almost undervalued again. Wow. Crazy. That is wild. How many points is that? That is 175. Almost undervalued though. Dollar is at support. There we go. Dollar is moving. Damn. Yeah, it's kind of freaking. Look at that, man. This is a wild market, my friends. A wild market. It's the Wild West. Okay, it's the Wild West today. 52.5 was my entry. This would be for me a break even. I'm gonna thrill it. Sorry. I'm happy if I get out break even here today. I'm not joking. I'm gonna trail it to my break even point. Okay. There we go. I will be happy with a break even here, guys. Sorry. And get out of this session and come back later on. If it goes, it goes. I will be happy with it. Because this could again flip. Market is doing some crazy shit. We're also back at this zone here on the lower time frame. We have some support here as well. So we could find a double top again. Then I get stopped out on break even on this trade and not in profit. And then I'm down 500. You know what I mean? So this is pure risk management now for this session. Yeah, okay, boom. All right, back at zero. Sorry, right? But for today I had to do it this way. I had to do it this way. I had to. I don't want price to push back here. Stop me out on break even here. Then I'm down 500, right? It's about protecting my account. I know that these moves don't always happen every New York session, right? It's very unusual. So the fact that we got out of this scenario risk-free is, in my opinion, a win. Better than nothing, I guess. And a good learning process, I guess, as well. Damn. Yeah. Okay. Now, can it still drop? It could definitely still drop. I'm joking here, but this I kind of had to do it this way. But hey, some people are probably still in the trade, and they do whatever they feel like. If you feel that you have more room to play around with, I mean, then go for it. Go for it. But I'm happy that I did it this way, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. Because I rather protect my capital at all times whenever I can than squeeze and try to get everything out of it every session. I know that some sessions I'm happily break even for the day. All right? I'm happily doing that. Because if this pulls back, which it could, by the way, right? If this pulls back, I think you understand what I mean. Trade the setup, not your P&L. Not necessarily true. Because the setup is... We have support here too. Okay, look at that. We are bouncing from an area where a lot of trapped sellers came in here. We have some trapped sellers sitting there that are now closing down their position, though there could be an easy pullback coming. But if it drops further, then hey, it's all good. At least you guys have seen some action today. Wow. Let me know what the chat has been doing right now. Let me read the chat for a second, because let me see what these guys are up to, man. Yeah, gold's pulling back here. You see that? Let's see. Let's see what the chat is saying here. Today was challenging for me, minus 500 to plus 500. Well, there we go. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay. I got absolutely rammed. I can't laugh about that here, but I know you. I know we're saying this. We're on the same page. We're on the same page. Hi Lorenzo, which bank or system do you use to withdraw and to take trading profits? You can. I use Wise for everything pretty much, and then I use Wise to send it to my international account. So I like personally Wise, TransferWise. Okay. Yeah, that pretty much. Lorenzo, I told you last live, buy after sweeping liquidity below this first 660 week. Okay. Did you say that? I didn't know that. But anyways, if that was the case, then a good choice. Okay, so we ended up with one loss and one win. Right? And both equal. That's it. Nothing fancy, but we got out of it. And look at that. If I held on to the trade right now, I would have now felt some... I would have felt some nerves right now. Okay? If you know what I mean. Because then I would be break even here. And then what? Still end the day in red here. So I took what I could get in this area. There we go, yeah. What can I say? There we go. Yeah. Okay, my friends. Yeah, I think that's it for today's session here. What a crazy session here. I'm going to do the analysis one more time right now, because there are definitely some interesting shifts happening right now on gold. This is a series of shift, you could say. A real reversal is coming in potentially now, and this order flow kind of proves that. Okay, we haven't seen this in a long time. And this could be die-hard support right now. The 4707 and latest the 4684. Two major areas of support right now. And one major area of resistance. This is that zone where we shorted from right now. We managed to get our money back from this trade. Again, from that same zone. This is major support. This will be major support. We have these two major zones where we could easily bounce from and continue to go higher. It could be. It's usually an interesting scenario where buyers step in during Asia and then sellers step in during London. The sellers are getting squeezed. Buyers are now in profit, and then they're going to protect their position. The sellers are going to close their positions. It causes buying pressure, and the buyers are in control. They want to protect their position, and smart money sees this as a scale opportunity to scale into their longs. So for me, it's very important to pay attention to these two zones right here that we marked out on the chart right there. Okay, super important to pay attention to the 4707 on futures and the 4784. Okay, now what's the difference between futures and spot? Around 29 and 38, so around 9 points. Okay, so on spot you have to calculate it from a 9-point difference, 9 points lower than 4707 and 4684. Okay, I think that there is a chance that buyers want to keep control price. I think you're going to find major support around this area, and that they could look for a higher low formation. That is the only objective thing that I could think about right now at the moment. Okay, this is major resistance, so don't try to long right now. I think it's too risky to long as well. Either you're aggressively short and you want to catch the pullback, or you want to wait for price to pull back for a potential long. This is the only logical move that I can see right now. The dollar is not looking strong. It actually broke below the previous daily POC today and below the previous weekly point of control right now. And it's already getting rejected from it. And that's pretty nasty to see right there. But that's the reality of the dollar at the moment. The dollar is losing its momentum. Oil, very similar vibes. All right, oil is holding up a bit stronger. But it seems that gold and the dollar are definitely doing what they need to do. And that is being negatively correlated with and against each other. Okay? I hope this makes sense so far, guys, in terms of the price action. Yeah, I did my best to manage the trade here accordingly. But I hope you understand the reasoning of why I believe that this is such an important zone right now. And how this shift that you see here, okay, is not a joke. It's going to be serious support. So I'm very curious to see what happens here. If we can pull back to the range of today, the Asian range, pretty much. So you can mark out the Asian range, or you can use an indicator called the trading sessions. And you see the Tokyo session right here, the Asian range. The moment you get into that, watch what happens. You'll find a lot of support, okay? The moment you get into the London session, you're gonna find also a lot of support because all these trapped sellers are right there, okay? Crazy market. But that's the reality right now of what's currently happening, okay? I hope to see the pullback. I cannot guarantee it. I hope to see it because it will provide us with really good opportunities. But this is a crazy market right now, okay? It's a crazy market right now. So that's the overall analysis here right now, guys. Pay attention to this briefly. The market can turn like a dime. It has been proven to do that in today's session, okay? At least I've seen some price action right now. And we got out of it. We survived. Thank God we did. All right? Cool, G's. Yeah. All right. That's it, man. I'm going to be back tomorrow again. I'm going to be here 4 days this week. Friday, I'm going to go to Singapore, so I will not be here. I will be here tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Same time. Okay? Highly respect you. If you want to learn about the volume profile, you can download my book for free, right? Do your thing. You know how to do it. Links in the description. And I wish you good rest of your session. Be careful. I mean, that's all I can say. Be careful, my friend. Holy moly. All right. Enjoy. Yeah? Wish you the best. Thank you. Much love, fam. See you later. Ciao.